We can't get rid of her. I am not op. Original post by you, username in r subreddit. Trigger warnings. Bullying. Verbal abuse. Less than. Mood spoilers. Karen in the wild. Less than. An NBSP. We can't get rid of her. November 2022. I need to get some things off my chest. Since I started as a front desk agent at a 3-star business hotel early this past summer, there has been an elderly woman who has slowly but surely descended into complete delusional and harassing behavior. First story I heard of her was in our shift notes. She was complaining to one of my coworkers that it was dangerous to have foreigners in a hotel because they carry diseases. She later told me that a technical issue with her TV was probably the Chinese POC staying at this hotel have complained about her for inching away from them or generally breaking social norms. She told a Black Police Academy student she doesn't support his profession while also backing away from him slowly, which put me in the super great position between validating this guest's perspective that this was a skin color thing, while trying not to gossip about other guests. In retrospect, I should have validated him completely without referencing her other actions. Lesson learned for me. Months go by and every week this guest requests her folio printed out and sent to her, which is normal. But the way she did it was, "Can I have a folio?" Even though manager overprices the market items, or something like that, with a little guffaw to flourish the interaction with passive aggression. Fast forward a couple months. She started saying we are trying to harm her, that we've been violent, that the engineers threw corrosive acid on her fridge, and that her doctor said that she has an infection caused by the chemicals used to clean her carpet. We didn't even use chemicals. It was just warm and maybe soapy water, because the cleaning reason wasn't for anything severe. And then she turned around and said we ought to be cleaning her carpet properly. So she lies routinely about us trying to poison her. She also called the desk one night sounding like she was choking. Our FDA that night called 911 because it sounded like the guest couldn't breathe. The FDA went back on the line with the guest, who was suddenly perfectly fine, and said she choked on coffee. When the FDA told her EMS was on the way, she said, "Oh, let them come," and then kept them for upwards of 30 minutes to tell them about the trials and tribulations she faces at our property. She's made one of our night shift workers sob because she threatened to send the worker, let's call her Sarah, to jail. She has no power to do this obviously, and Sarah did nothing illegal. But this worker is very sensitive and has apparently been falsely accused and consequently faced jail time in the past. So the whole thing was very traumatizing to her. The nightmare guest follows her around during her night shift and films her doing her night shift duties to document her illegal activities. I don't think cleaning the pool area is a crime, but whatever. The morning I came in to see Sarah sobbing in the office of this woman's abuse was one of glorious catharsis in the end. The nightmare guest came to the desk while Sarah was still there at the adjacent desk. There are two. She asked me to print all 48 of her folios or something. I was cold and civil, as I always have been with her. She started talking to me about Sarah's illegal behavior, and false accusations, and some other delusional BS. Sarah is a very petite, high-pitched voiced woman that says, "Sorry, way too much." And I was naturally feeling very protective. Our exchange went as follows. I told her not to talk to me about Sarah and that I wasn't interested in what she had to say. She got all huffy and says, "I am a paying customer." As if that means I have to do whatever she wants and be told lies and a bunch of information I couldn't even do anything about if it were true. I snapped back, "Actually, you're a nightmare." She gets all angry and shaky in the way only senior citizens can and says she won't be spoken to. in this disrespectful tone. To which I respond, "Oh yeah? How's it feel?" Quote, "This whole time I kept my voice down to avoid disturbing guests in the breakfast area. All for naught." Sarah starts yelling at this guest for trying to intimidate her, threaten her freedom, etc. I put my hands gently on Sarah's shoulders and very gently pushed her towards the back office and shut the door in an effort to de-escalate the situation. Another coworker actually called the police, which seemed extra, but whatever, who took statements from the guest and my manager. All of this happened before 8 a.m. We tried to kick her out, but in our region, guests inhabiting any accommodation for upwards of 30 days have tenant rights. So a formal eviction was filed. She somehow convinced the judge that this should go to a jury trial. There was a hearing about this. She has been scheduled for a full jury trial months from now. She is literally like a stubborn Victorian ghost. She walks the halls all night and her moods are so erratic. It's really sad, honestly, but mostly just pathetic and annoying. She hates us. She hates the property. She feels harassed and unsafe and accuses everyone that talks back to her of violence, even if all we do is tell her to leave us alone and stop repeating all these details of fictional events that most of us have no control over anyways. And yet, she won't leave. She is literally representing herself in the trial, which I can't believe is also going to be supported by taxpayer dollars purely by existing. She has sued multiple major hotels for conspiracy to harm, overcharging, etc. She has been dismissed every time in the end. She's a con artist. I hope someone enjoyed this very long tale. Edit. 30 days. Not 3. Typo. I'm so embarrassed. An NBSP update. We can't get rid of her. January 2023. Link to original post. https www.reddit.com/r/talesfromthefrontdesk/comments/c97r88/we-can't-get-right-offer/ UTM source equals share and UTM medium equals iOS app and UTM name equals iOS SMF. Lots of you asked me to update when I originally posted this. Today is finally the day. Since my last post, I signed an affidavit about her conduct. She threw laundry at a housekeeper on property with our franchise, and my GM guest accused me of perjury when discovering this online and is threatening to sue me and our GM for billions, etc., etc. She also started saying that someone outside was stalking her. It was literally my coworker's relative that picks them up and is only there for 5 minutes at a time, twice a day. Delusional stuff. Well, the purpose of the affidavit was for a summary judgment that would fast-track the eviction. The summary judgment was granted last week, though her story is that the bacteria all over the room we force her to stay in was causing such detrimental health issues that doctors told her she had to leave. There's no mold, obviously. Her room is fine. Even better now that she's gone. The exit was anticlimactic but sweet nonetheless. She used all our luggage carts, told me I was going to hell, and asked me to keep track of her stuff while she waited for her ride. Lol. I was happy to help her out the door. She didn't make a huge scene at her departure, so at least she has her dignity? As long as we forget every other day of her stay. I'm not sure what the deal with the jury trial is now. She can't come back because we won't rent to her. She doesn't have a room. She left of her own volition, according to her. And the whole thing didn't even require a police escort. As far as I know, she also hasn't been charged for her room since September. I don't know what is happening there either. But the hotel I'm at isn't struggling and no one even cares about the money. We're just happy she's gone. TLDR. We got rid of her. An NBSP update in comments. Update on that. My AGM charged the entire balance today. IDK who was paying her bill, but they are loaded. Some charitable, well-meaning idiot probably. An NBSP. Reminder I am not the original poster. I'm shocked the charge went through. What a horrid old bat. I wonder whether she was vile because she needed to lash out. Or if she got shunted into the hotel because she was vile. I have visions of long-suffering kids-in-laws literally willing to pay any price to not have her under their roof. I love posts in r subreddit. Hey op, do you want to double-check the first sentence of your post? I think you forgot to switch out some info LMAO. Wow, this woman is both a bigot, her fault, and having a mental health crisis. Not her fault. Hopefully she has family that can help her and put a stop to her harassing minorities. Tales from the Front Desk is one of my favorite subreddits. If nothing else, it's taught me a lot about being a kinder, more prepared traveler. Victorian ghosts would have more manners than her. At least their put-downs would be more subtle and cut deeper. I don't believe dementia makes people horrible and racist. I just believe dementia lets the mask of civility fall off. That old woman was always horrible, and wherever she is she will be horrible until the end of her days. I'm glad Oop never had to deal with her again. I really hope Oop puts out an APB of sorts and blacklists this woman from other hotels in the region. Sounds like she just bounces from hotel to hotel until she's forced to leave. It may even be cheaper to whoever is paying the bill than a care home. As a hotel, can you not get around that 30-day limitation by shifting their room every fortnight or so? Probably paid for by some rich relative so they don't have to deal with her. Well, that story gave me secondhand anxiety. Glad y'all got rid of her.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.